Ladies and gentlemen, having watched and listened carefully to the briefing made by the ODM Central Committee this afternoon, allow me to tell you that ODM is in a regret mode. ODM is highly disappointed. As you can see for yourself, the mood that the ODM party leader is showing this afternoon, this man is indeed regretting. This shows a lot. And there is also a notable observation that we can spot here. You see, the absence of the key figures of ODM party speaks volume. Because in this particular briefing, we can't see Gladys Wanga being the party chairperson. Where is Jonette Mohammed? That is a very key political figure in ODM. I tell you, this is not accidental. It also speaks something so deep. You see, as you can see, check this particular briefing, I tell you, there is no momentum. The energy is at zero mode because the absence of young leaders, the Kina Sifuna, the Kina Babu, these have actually hit ODM so hard. Ladies and gentlemen, before I continue with this particular podcast, highlighting and deeply analyzing the content of this particular brief, kindly take a minute of your time, subscribe to our podcast, click the notification bell so that whenever we make such videos, YouTube will notify you. And by the way, by doing so, you directly support this podcast. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this particular brief really signals something so deep. And it shows us from the onset how ODM regrets. It also reveals how ODM has reduced and is continues to be a weakening party. Okay, let's first go bit by bit the content of this particular brief. The call for unity. The Central Committee came clearly calling for unity among their members. And I tell you, this was not accidental. There is something that speaks so deep.
Our members and supporters should remain focused, steadfast, and continue keeping the fire of the party burning. We believe in the spirit of unity and togetherness, and we shall continue consulting with party members on the best ways to make our party bigger and greater.
When ODM comes and calls for unity, they realize one thing. These people realize that they've lost a lot. I tell you, by kicking out Edwin Sifuna, by Edwin Sifuna forming the Linda Mwananchi group, Edwin Sifuna, Babu Owino of the Orengo, I tell you, it really weakened the unity of the party. And by this, you see, these particular peoples, the Kinorengo, the Kinasifuna, these are not just politicians. These are voice and the deep voice that have been heard by the citizen of Kenya. Over the past, you've seen the mass that these people are pulling, the rallies that these people have been able to make, how Kenyans come out in large numbers. Because when we see that particular large people supporting the Linda Mwananchi, it means that the other side of Linda ground suffers people. Because I tell you, we've not seen a political rally that, when we now compare the Linda Mwananchi versus the Linda ground, I tell you, Linda ground suffers. Because today, that numbers has really gone down. The grassroots mobilization is so low. And this is what they are calling, in short, they're trying to persuade those people, the leaders from the other side. Actually, they're begging Kina Sifuna, they're begging Kina Babu, they're begging Kina Orengo that, we can square our differences. Let's work as a party. Let's come together. And I tell you, they lost. Hapa wamepoteza. Because actually, you will agree with me that they disobeyed the voice of the late Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. When they say Raila left them in the broad-based government, that is so wrong. I mean, Raila never said so. In fact, he said that ODM will file a presidential candidate. So the Kina Sifunas, the people who have maintained the legacy of Raila Amolo Odinga, and I tell you, they are not going to win this. So ODM today regret and they suffer disunity in the party. That's why they have to stage themselves to call for that particular unity. It is a big blow to the party. It is a big blow to the party, I can tell you. Ladies and gentlemen, ODM is a party historically that has been known to stand for the citizen. The question I will ask here, today's the biggest crisis in the country is about the price of the fuel. ODM is so silent. We can see the opposition leaders, the Rigathi Gachagua, coming out boldly, saying that criticizing the government on exploiting the citizen. But ODM has been so silent. Today, when they're telling us, wakigusia kidogo kidogo about that fuel price,
Kenyans are concerned about the increase in fuel prices. We know this is a global problem. While noting the government's efforts to mitigate the situation, we continue to push it to do more to cushion Kenyans from effects of the crisis.
Something we are not seeing from them. They're not coming boldly to criticize the government. What does this mean? It means that the party have been submerged. Party memezwa na UDA, hawana sauti kabisa. Sauti hawana, they cannot speak independently. They cannot now say, call a spade, hit the nail to the head and say, no, ODM no longer stand with the citizen, I tell you. They no longer stand with the citizen. They lost that. We don't see them. We don't see them honestly. They are not seen to that. ODM's telling us, revealing their schedule, how they will work in the coming days, organizing their conferences, their rallies. I think it is a question that people have been asking. Since the ODM organized their NDC, we've never seen ODM publicly. Yeah. All we see is the Linda Mwananchi side, the Kina Sifuna moving around the country. Today, this particular weekend, they will be in Nakuru. So these people are also coming with the same script. They're just saying that, our side, our brother's side, the Linda Mwananchi, are really doing well, mobilizing the citizen, going all over the country. But what about us? These are really shown how weak they are.